So your CV is broken down into 4 or 5 sections. The first one is the scholastic achievements. Second is internships. Third is position of responsibility, POR, and the last one is ECA. So these are the four major sections that concerned people find, try to look for in your CV, and they try to see how many peaks you have. Acha, the fifth one is your CG. So on CG, I'll very briefly tell you that if you have an 8 plus CG, you are doing good. You don't need to worry about the CG part. If you have 7.5 to 8, maybe your shortlist is very dicey, and you should probably have at least 2 peak. I'll explain what exactly peak means. So there are 4 sections. They look for peaks. So you must have at least 2 peaks if you have 7.5 to 8. If you have below 7.5, I would suggest that you should not expect a shortlist. You can definitely make a CV, you can definitely apply for it, but don't expect a shortlist. Be prepared for your other profiles. Be 100% prepared for the other profiles. Apart from that, if your CV gets shortlisted, that's well and good. You can start preparing for cases after your shortlist as well. If you have 8.5 plus, if you have 9 plus, that is a very big peak, to be honest. Because if you have an 8.5 plus, you probably have semester merit award as well. And some more, you have probably have some department rank as well. So your scholastic achievements also improve. So if you have an 8.5 plus or if you have a 9 plus CG, that's a very big peak, right? So coming back to what is a peak. So every section has some kind of factors which makes your section as a peak. So for example, I'll start with scholastic achievements. So scholastic achievements may so basic don'ts is that you should never write your JE rank in your campus CV because everybody here is has given JE and has some decent rank. So and your branch tells more or less your branch tells what rank you had. So you don't need to write your JE rank. It's just wasting your one line. That's it. That's it. It is adding zero value to your CV. And you shouldn't add anything which adds zero value to it. So no G rank, it's a big no. No scholarships in your school time. If it's a very big scholarship, I think then you may go for it. But yeah, I think here the basic don't is that you haven't filled the line completely. So when you look for CVs, they generally want to have a CV slightly compact. Like for example, if you look at this POR part, the first two part, it looks very compact. Every line is completely filled. So these are basic alignment issues that I'll cover at the last in the last 5 minutes as well. I'll cover that again as well. So am I audible, guys?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, okay. I had some notification. Okay. Yeah. So basic alignment issues I'll cover at last. So here I think JSTC scholarship is a good reputed scholarship. You can write it in your CV definitely, but you should try to complete your line. Like you need to fill at least 70 to 80% of your line, and this year should be right aligned. Like this. This is completely right aligned, the year. So this time period should be right aligned. And at least you could have maybe you could expand this DOE. What is DOE? Right? And maybe what is NCT? So you could have just expanded this line and fit 70 to 80% of this line. Otherwise, scholastic achievements may, when we talk about the institute level scholastic achievements, department rank, uh, you may also write this and you may also, if it's relevant to you, you may take note of it that department change, department rank, if you have been selected for foreign exchange, if you have been selected for semester merit award, and Sura. These 5 points are the most coveted scholastic achievements. If you have at least 2 or 3 of them, your scholastic achievements are probably peak, right? So, what other scholastic achievements are there for you? So, you can have scholarships. Mittal Renaissance scholarship is very reputed. MHRD scholarship is very reputed. Even every government scholarship is reputed. See this Shapurji Palonji a Rising Star. So this is a scholarship. This is a corporate scholarship, right? So scholarships are very good point. You can have some Harvard conferences like HPAIR is very famous. We have ASEAN conference as well. So these conferences are considered to be slightly less important. The IIT Delhi specific scholastic achievements holds the highest value. Then next comes the this scholarships. If you have a very recent scholarship, if you have a very reputed scholarship, that comes next. If you have NTC rank, if you have KVPY rank, if you have some other Olympiads, some very IM, INMO, RMO, if you have such kind of Olympiads, that comes next. And then you can have these conferences as well. Right. So more or less, this makes up your scholastic achievements. People generally write some LORs. If you have an LOR for a project work or for a paper, your research paper you're writing, mostly second year people don't do this kind of thing. This is more common in core people that they do some research or they have some project with the professor, so they can have some LOR from them. Right. If you have performed really well in a course, you can have an LOR from the professor as well. So that is also some good scholastic points, scholastic achievement points, right? And yeah, this is it for scholastic achievements. Uh, you can have your doubts at the last that what scholastic achievement points you can think of and how much value does it hold. So I am telling you the points which you can write, and the IIT Delhi specific those 5 points which I have mentioned, those are considered as peak. If you have three of them, that is considered as peak. Then we have internships. So, see, mostly second year people don't have very great internships, but if you do have, that's a peak. So, first point is corporate internships. The highest valued internships are corporate internships from a reputed brand. See, when you are when consult people come for you, they try to look for a brand. See, everybody can understand that not a very big task can be given to a second year student, right? But if you have worked in a very reputed, very branded company, corporate company, then they know at least you have some basic sense of the corporate world, like how the corporate world works. They do not expect you that you should have a particular skill from that internship, right? But the basic sense of it. So yeah, highest valued internships are the corporate internships. The next internship can be some foreign internships, foreign research internships. Sorry, not foreign internships. If you have a foreign corporate internship, that's a very big plus, like 10 out of 10. You have a corporate internships, reputed branded corporate internships, it's 9 out of 10. If you have a research internship in a reputed college outside India, that's the next best thing you can have. The next best thing is you can have is a project with basically an internship with a professor in IIT Delhi or some other Indian college, maybe IISc, maybe IIM Ahmedabad, right? So you can have research internships under the professors of such reputed colleges. Then you can have startup internships, and then you can have startup internships, non-branded corporate internships, non-branded uh, research internships are the next. If you have Sura is a great Sura internship is a great point. It can add up to your scholastic achievement as well. It can add up to your internship section as well. And probably consult CV generally have internships. If you have very good internships, you can have three internships as well, right? But just to maintain a certain balance, two internships are good enough. Okay. Now we have positions of responsibility. So see, you understand the logic behind how all the rankings are done. The more difficult it is to get, the higher the value. So, for example, if you elected PORs are difficult to get comparatively because you can always lose the elections. So elected PORs have a higher value. Institute level elected PORs have a even higher value. Hostel level elected PORs have slightly lesser value, right? And then you have Fest PORs. Fest maybe there is a higher value for events, marketing and publicity verticals. The rest have a slightly lesser value. And then you have CAC clubs as well. If you are coordinator in, for example, Eco Club or any other tech club, so that helps, right? Generally, third year POR has more value than second year POR. Again, with the same logic, because third year POR is slightly difficult to get as compared to second year POR because less number of people are there in a third year POR. Generally, all the bodies work like that. Like for example, in BSW there are 26 reps, but only four secretaries and only one GSEC. Right? So, all upward pyramid. So obviously, third year POR will have a higher value than a second year POR. So this is basics of how your CVs is getting rated. I'll tell you how to write these lines and how to make these CVs. Right, and discuss that in brief as well. So in this particular don't is that again your lines are not complete and your lines are not exactly telling you what exactly did you do. RESTful API in PHP. You don't know what is API, you don't know what is PHP, they'll simply reject. See, consult people are not very technical people. If you write a very technical language to them, so if they won't understand that, right? So in this particular printable technology, printable electronics, microelectronics for textile group, so they have written facilitate cost effectiveness by engineering 100 plus battery combinations, which could be screen print or fabrics together. So the basic funda here to write the line is start with an action word. What exactly did you do? Facilitated, developed, conducted. All these are action words. Then you start with what did you do? What was the impact you created? And how did you do that? Right? These three steps you should try to cover. That what did you do? How did you do that? And what impact did it create? And it is recommended that you use numbers to show the impact. Decrease cost by 48%, reduce 37% toxicity. So your impact is quantified. If you quantify your impact of your work, that is a plus, right? Coming back to, I'll cover all of this again. Don't worry. I just found that this is an incomplete one and this is a complete one. So I'll just cover that once. So PORs are clear. I hope PORs are clear. Elected POR, institute level PORs are of higher value. Um, club 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 PORs third year have higher value in general for always for all the courts, all the fest, everything. And in general, RDV is valued more than TRIST slightly. It's not a very big difference. That if a particular CV, if two CVs are there, exact same CVs, one has RDV, one has TRIST, then the RDV one might get slightly preferred. That's it, right? So RDV slightly more preferred than TRIST, and events, publicity, and marketing. These three verticals are preferred more. They have slightly higher value than the other verticals, right? Coming to ECA, so yes, this is a very good CV, I would say. See, when they look for ECAs, they try to see that what particular passion did you follow? That did you pick up sports? It could be sports, it could be culturals, it could be business case comms, it could be social work. So they try to pick what is your forte and how well did you perform in it and how deeply you went into it, basically to check your passion. So for example, if you look at this particular CV, secured 9 podium finishes in 3 sports, member of GC winning contingent at the 53rd inter-IT sports meet. So the person is trying to establish that he's a sports person. 9 podium finishes in 3 sports. Now he is looking into one particular sports, which is squash. And you can see that squash, IIT Roorkee. See, this is an inter-IIT level sports, right? You went to IIT Roorkee, you won gold medal, silver medal. So basically, if you have multiple medals at different years, at different levels, this shows your passion to the sport and how well you have pursued it. And this is a very nice way to present it. This should be your ideal formatting: winner, gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, finalist, whatever, sport, and where it was played. You can even write here that Inter IIT 224 or Inter IIT 23 at IIT Roorkee. You could have just written squash Inter IIT. IIT Roorkee. Here is already mentioned, right? So this is a very neat and clean one. And semi-finalist, you can again mention squash, 53rd inter-IIT sports meet held at IIT Guwahati among 23 participating. So you could have also mentioned something like if you have been conferred with a very prestigious award at institute level, that best sports person of the year by BSA IIT 2024, something like that. So you could have mentioned that here as well in the last line, in the italics version. So is there any italic version here? Yeah, so like this, without writing the bullet point and mentioning it here in a very italic version so that it highlights that this was the award you confirmed, right? Fair enough. Next is similarly, you can go with cult as well. You can go with if you are if you have a lot of ECAs in any particular cult like dance or music or drama, whatever. So you can simply write gold medal, inter-IT cult, or you can write the competition's name, right? So this is the format that you should follow, typical format you should follow, because it is very easy to spot that, yeah, this is a peak, right? Because a lot of CVs are there, they don't give enough time. Hardly 10 seconds will be given to your entire CV. So you need to look for the correct alignments and correct formatting as well, right? The next is business cases and innovation competition. So a lot of case competitions are happening in this Delhi circuit, TU colleges, inter IITs, different IITs, different IIMs have these kind of business case competitions, right? So you can participate in them. A lot of people, a lot of concerned people who are not in sports, who are not in cultural activities, they go for business cases and innovation competitions. A lot of competitions is held in RDB Trust as well, Econ as well. We have clubs like Business and Consulting Club, Economics Club. Everyone is organizing a lot of case competitions. So you can participate in that. If you have at least four ECAs, then you can go on with this format, right? If you have three ECAs, you can go with the full line format as well. But yeah, you can also mention finalist. If you are shortlisted for the final round, you can also mention it as finalist, CP to be submit, SRCs. You can also mention the level, national level, state level, intra college level, right? Cool. So this is it. These are the basic don'ts, the points mentioned in the red. These are some basic don'ts. You do not write an SIT daily and you start with these points. See, the basic problem with this point is that awarded best volunteer. Whenever you have been awarded something, you should write it in italics at the last. So, for example, if I would have these points in my CV, I would have gone with NSIT Delhi like this. NSIT Delhi. What positions did you held here, or what were your basic contributions? Then you start with these 2 points, and then without mentioning the bullet, add this point in the italics. So, for example, we have this co-authored plasmonic enhancement of absorption. This line, this format I'm talking about. You should mention this in this format, right? Awarded this. So if you just have one point, you should not write a separate bullet for it, right? Eureka IIT Bombay. It's not clear what's happening here. Business plan development finalist. Okay, a lot of people do write if they have only one CV, if they have only one ECA point, then they do write in one line. But this doesn't hold much value. This is a wastage of line, wastage of what do you say? It doesn't look good in your CV. All in all, right? Just a second, guys. I'll just connect my laptop with charger. All right. So, yes, this is a very big no. No point should come in two lines, and every point should have at least 80 to 90% of the line filled, right? Second runner up among 500 participating. So this is not a very what eye-catching way of writing it. This is the good way to write, and if generally the people who do the shortlisting of these consult CVs, they are generally habituated to this kind of format. If you write it in this format, right? Second runner up, business plan developer, finalist, 10,000 participating teams. So your achievements are overshadowed. Basically, they will be looked upon. People will not notice that you have written this because this is a very ill formatted CV per se, right? Again, link to the concept video. This is a very big no. You should not write any point like that, right? Again, in Actors National Competition, Social Innovation Challenge, all this could have been written in this particular format by mentioning the header, business cases, and innovation competitions, right? So this is the basics of the entire ECAs. I'll tell you what is a peak in ECA. So if you have at least one section which is your very strong, it could be any of the sport, it could be any of the cultural part, it could be any of the business case competitions as well. If you have 6 to 8 ECAs in one particular section, that will be counted as a peak. So if you don't have that, maybe two sections with 4, 5 ECAs, 6 ECAs each it can be counted as the next best thing, right? And so on. So I would suggest that if you have, see, in second year, generally people have seen only two GCs and only two inter IT. So there is a not there is very little scope of great ECAs, right? So you can invoke some school level ECAs as well in that particular sport if you have. But if you have only school level ECs, for example, you played cricket in your school level, but you didn't continue in your IIT life, then that will not be counted as a very good point. But if you have one or two ECs in cricket in IIT, then you can invoke your school level ECs in cricket as well. So that could show your passion towards the sport, right? Uh, okay. So coming on to how to write each and every point. So the basic funda that I'll give you is that you try to show that how your achievement is unique. So if you have achieved something in your Olympiad, you mention the rank and you mention how many people appear for it or how reputed that Olympiad is or who conducts the Olympiad. For example, if it is GOI, Government of India, then you try to mention that and make it look more valuable. You can make it look valuable by your rank, maybe your percentile. For example, if you have a 10,000 rank, not 10,000, maybe 1,000 rank, but 10 lakh people give it. So you can maybe write it as 99 percentile, right? You can start mentioning like that to make it look good. 1,000 rank doesn't look good, to be honest. So you need to check on how your ECA point is perceived, right? If your Olympiad is not so renowned, try to write who conducts that particular Olympiad so that it creates some value, right? And for example, if you're writing department rank, you can start with your department rank is 2 out of how many students after how many semesters, right? So this is for scholastic achievements. I already mentioned what is a peak, what is slightly lesser than a peak, and so on. In internships, again, uh, I already mentioned this that you start with what did you do, how did you do, and what impact did you create. It is generally recommended that you quantify the impact using some numbers. So that will look good, right? If you have a PPO, if you have a letter of recommendation from a manager, please write it in this italic formats only. Only then it will be highlighted. And if you have, please do write. If you don't have, try to ask your manager to give you some LOR. Try to manage an LOR from your internship, people. So that it shows that you did your internship well, right? So if you are interning in a startup, if you are interning in a corporate job, at the end of the internship, try to manage an LOR, right? And do write it here in italics. So this will just enhance the value of this internship that you are doing. That you did this internship in this reputed corporate, even if it's not reputed, at least you did your part very well. So that gives a good impression, right? If you have if it's a research project under a professor, definitely you can it's comparatively easier to manage an LOR from a professor. So please do uh, write an LOR from a professor. Do get it done, right? Just breaking down this, first you need to mention your company, then your role, right? Printable electronics, microelectronics for textile group. I'm not sure what is this exactly written, but a basic format is you start with what is the company name. Then write what is your role, and then finally you can write align the time period, the period, right? So, for example, I would have written like Boston Consulting Group bracket में BCG, comma Gurgaon colon summer associate intern, and then after and I'll write align this time period May 2023 to July 2023. Sorry, May 2023 to June 2023. May, June, July 2023. So this is how I would have written my internship here. Understood? Don't repeat the action words if possible. Please, that's a big no. Try to use different actionable words. Facilitated, developed, conducted. You can, okay, we have GPTs available all over the internet. So you can use GPT for more impactful action words. Right. So internship is done. POR. When you write the POR, so for example, if you are writing in a board, if you are a secretary in BSW, for example. So you could start with Board for Student Welfare conducted 70 welfare activities for 8,000. This is your overall impact that you created while being in BSW, right? Then you have, for example, secretary and then representative. Then you write secretary operations, unanimously elected to lead. So basically, you are writing how difficult it was to get to this position. Basically, if you are a secretary, you are leading a two-tier team of 50 plus people elected out of 300 people or 400 people, whatever, elected to lead a three-tier team of 300 members. So this will show the impact that, okay, this is an elected POR, you are leading a three-tier team, and out of how many people you got elected, like how many people were competing for you, competing for your position, right? This is the secretary, and then representative. You are in second year, right? So maximum you could be secretary, representative only. Representative and then secretary. Two tiers. If you are making placement CV, you could have representative, secretary, and then general secretary as well. So here you have secretary and representative for you, and you can again write that how difficult it was to get to your POR, and then your basic 2 points. Again, the same funda that we followed for internship is will be applied to your position of responsibility as well. What did you do? How did you do? And what exact impact you created? And it is highly appreciated if you write that you were a part of something that was started very fresh. So, for example, this CV making session that you are attending is a very fresh initiative from the BSW. So the organizers, whoever are the organizers, I think Puranjit and Lakshya and Vanshika, everybody, the team, entire team, they can write it in their CVs that we initiated this flagship event. So something new, something new, flagship, something fresh is appreciated in your POR. All the basic things like okay, conducting these sessions, fostering fostering a friendly environment among the freshers. This is not a very attractive point as a BSW rep. Like everybody knows what exactly a BSW rep does, but you need to mention what new did you bring to the table. So that is more valued. If you don't have that anything, if you don't have anything like that, obviously you can mention the generic points as well, right? So, for example, representative training program is a fresh piece that it was introduced in this particular tenure only. So that is mentioned in the bold. You can mention the numbers in the bold. You can mention the impact. You can mention your new initiatives in bold to put more light to it. And again, one more thing, you can, I think, if you have, you should write your awards as well. So, for example, if you have been awarded best representative in the BSW team, you should again write in this format, awarded the best representative among the 26 plus reps for my significant contribution, etc., 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 by the BSW team or whatever, right? You can frame this line using GPT. But if you have been awarded for your POR, like significant contribution, outstanding contribution, or awarded the best rep, best coordinator, whatever, if you have been awarded, you should write it in italics without using this bullet point. It will add immense value to your POR. Like, it's very obvious that there are 26 representatives, there are four secretaries. So out of these 26 representatives, only four people are getting best representative. So if you are that best representative, you are outstanding the others, right? You are creating more value. So basically, you are more valued. You are in the top four representatives. So your POR will get enhanced. If you have such points, you should definitely write it in italics. Cool. Again, basic things, you should not over highlight the entire line. You should highlight only small things. You should highlight only 2 to 3 words, which is showing your impact. Leading the club, executive team member, team in conduction of various events. This is a very long line, to be honest. To be bold, if you bold such long phrases, see the point gets defeated. It won't highlight anything. If you have a lot of bold, if half of a CV is bold, then nothing is highlighted, right? Again, nothing should come in 2 lines. Nothing should come less than 90% of the line. This is very small, very short. We should expand this. Maybe you should write more impact. What is the impact of such observation sessions? Right? How much was the participation? Right? We could have added some points here. Extracurricular, yeah. So this is I think nothing to mention about this. Again, you can see that if you have national level, so a lot of debaters here might know that some competitions are international level competitions, some are national level, some are state level, some are college level, intra-college, inter-college. So you could start with this national level competitions and then state level competition. You can make 2 sections out of it, and you can have 4 ECs here, you can have 4 ECs here, right? If you don't have such a sport, you can also write some social endeavors. Every type of volunteering you can add in that. Every type of social work you can add in that. Even best BSW mentoring is in a way a social endeavor, something like social work only. I am giving this session. I could have written this point that guided XX plus pachas for their CV making session, right? For example, just for example. So try to mention your impact, right? You understand what is the basic fund of what gets more value. If it's hard to get, it has more value. If you created a lot of impact in that, if you got awarded into that POR, if you were awarded best representative, for example, so that adds more value, right? So this is it from my side. I think we can open up for questions. I'll just keep this CV on the screen itself, and we can still go on with the questions.
Right. So, like, how we'll go with the question is that anyone who wants to ask a question, they can just raise their hand and like we'll let them unmute. So, yeah, you can raise your hands. Cool. So, we'll first let Abhinav speak. Right, Abhinav, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, yes. Is it a red flag if you write, say, three interns or something like that? Is excess or something also bad?
Sorry. Is it a red flag if you write?
Three interns. If I have three good interns, then I go ahead and
If
write
you
that.
have 3 good interns, that's definitely a peak, to be honest. That's not a red flag. Generally, people have 2 interns. What I
Yeah.
would suggest is if you have two good interns and third intern is not that good, you prefer two interns. But again, if you don't have a lot of ECAs, if you want to compensate that space in the internship part, three internship is not a red flag.
Acha, okay, got it.
Okay.
Right. We'll let Gaurav speak next. Yeah, Gaurav, you can unmute yourself.
Sir, how does the can CGPA compensate the PORs? Like, can we explain the reason for low CG as more PORs?
See, if you have a CGPA in the range of 7 to 7.5, it's not just about PORs. You should have peak in at least two sections. It could be ECAs and internships as well. So it's not about if you have a low CG, you should have a lot of PORs. Maybe you can have a lot of PORs, but valuable PORs is very important. You should not write more than four PORs, honestly. So even if you have 10 small PORs, that's of no value. It's better to have three good PORs as compared to 10 normal okayish PORs, right? And yeah, if you have a 9 plus CG and you have two small PORs, it's fine because one section is peak. Like, okay, your CGPA is peak, your POR is weak. Now it will depend on the other sections as well. So it's not a very subjective decision, or it's not a very objective decision, honestly. So CV shortlisting is very subjective. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Right, we can let Samad speak next. Samad, you can unmute.
So between a startup internship and a research internship at maybe some professor at IIT Delhi, what do you think will be better?
Hmm, probably they are equal. Roughly they are equal. But again, it will depend on your impact then. Like what exact impact you created in that startup, or did you do a project under a professor and then did you go out for publishing that paper? And that's a very big point. If you get an LOR from that professor, that's a great point. So more or less, roughly they are equal. You'll have to look into the next step, that what points you are writing into it.
Okay, sir.
Puranjay, you can just
Um,
keep unmuting at least two people so that we can make this process faster. I'll be able to cover more people then.
cool. Got it. Got it. So Kendra and Ananya, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi, sir. So, what if I'm currently undergoing an internship and it will go on semester long? So, should I mention that or not?
It's if it's a semester long internship, probably it is a research internship, right?
No, it's in a startup.
It's in a startup. Okay. Um, Probably you can write it. I'm not sure about exactly how the OCS policies follows. Like, I'm not sure. You can just confirm it from someone from OCS. But even if you are not able to write the entire semester long internship, you can just write it and cut short it into a summer internship only.
Okay.
Hi, sir. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask is there a, for the shortlisters, is there a hard filter applied on the CG, for example, 7.5 to 8, 8 above, or is there a margin of error of point 0.1, point 0.2 here and there?
See, if you are see, generally it is a very hard boundaries, honestly. But if you have a CG say 7.99, so they will definitely look at your rest of the CV. If you have a CGP of 7.49, they'll definitely have a look at your rest of your CG or rest of your CV. And if they do not see a peak in at least two of them, they won't consider your CV. If you have two peaks, say for example EC and POR both are peak, then they will consider that CV. I'm not saying they'll shortlist it definitely. They'll consider that CV.
All right, sir.
And to be
Thank you.
honest, if it's a below 7.5, you should not in an ideal scenario you should not expect a shortlist. Go for prepare your tech or prepare your core profiles. You can make CV for consult as well, but start preparing for consulting interviews after you have a shortlist.
All right, sir.
Okay.
I would like to add to the question for semester long. So I don't know about consult, but I think you will have to mention it is going from this time to present, and then you should be very sure that you know everything about the project. You will get a lot of cross questions, so be on the safer side because the questions from them would definitely try to test your knowledge about the project, and it won't leave a good impact that you do not know about it.
Yes, definitely. Thanks, Vanshika. So generally, from consult point of view, people generally don't ask you questions about the internship exactly, precisely what you did in your internship. If it's a startup internship, then definitely they might ask. If they know what you are doing, they'll definitely grill you in this. See, what are you doing? How you are doing? What if this happens? What if that happens? So you need to be very thorough in it. If it's a startup internship, they will know what you are doing. Consult people will know. If it's a research project under a professor, they probably might not question much. Okay, next, Aryan.
Sir,
Just
I
to
want to know.
add on, we will be wrapping up soon, guys. So be quicker in asking your questions.
Sir, I want to know that the foreign interns really matters in the CV or not.
It's
Then
it's not that
domestic
if
interns.
you yeah, I got your point. See, it's just a criteria. If you are not performing well in that criteria, you should perform somewhere else, right? If you do not have a foreign research intern in your CV, then you should have a good POR in your CV, or you should have a lot of ECAs in your CV. Maybe your CG can be very high, right? So you need
Ani, I
something to
want to know.
compensate that. Yeah,
It's it's इसका इसका इम्पैक्ट ज्यादा होता है क्या सीवी पे? और फॉरेन इंटर्न कर रखी है, एक डोमेस्टिक इंटर्न कर रखी है, तो ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट होता है क्या? ऐसा कुछ होता है
foreign intern and दूसरा क्या?
जो अब इंडिया में मतलब इंटर्न कर रहे हैं?
इंडिया में हाँ तो फॉरेन का इम्पैक्ट ज्यादा होगा एज कम्पेयर टू इंडिया का वही है ब्रांड कौन सा बड़ा है विच इज मोर रेप्यूटेड
ओके, आई गॉट इट।
आदित्य
Hello, sir. I had a question that what if one of the section is really small? Like suppose I have one scholastic achievements or none at all, no good valued scholastic achievement. So what will
then
I
I
even
would
write
then
in
I
that
would
section?
suggest that you at least make that section write 3 4 points in it. It can be very weak, but again, if that section is you know if that section is not there in your CV, then it is giving you 0 points out of 10. If you write
Hmm,
3 4 points, they'll probably give you 5 or 6 points. So
hmm.
make a
Even
section,
if
write
the
three, four
answer
points. If
right.
not valuable, you can start writing these conferences. These are very easy to get conferences. You can write LORs from different professors. You can write some Olympiads from your school time, something like that. Right?
Hmm. Okay, thank you, sir.
No worries. Manan,
Yes, sir. So you mentioned foreign exchange semesters, right? So if
hmm.
we opt for them, we won't be able to get third year PRs. So what would you suggest, forex or a foreign intern with third year PRs?
See, if you are able to do the foreign good, you should go to foreign exchange, honestly. It's a very different experience. But coming to the CV point of view, foreign exchange is just 1 point. It will definitely hamper your POR section. If you basically foreign exchange is just a scholastic achievement point. You can compensate that scholastic achievement point for other scholastic achievement points, right? But if you have no PORs, your POR section is weak. So if you want to go with consult point of view, That what is better? I would say POR is better with a foreign intern. Foreign exchange is it slightly gets weaker, but it's not true completely true that people who go to foreign exchange are not getting shortlist for your consult. A lot of foreign exchange people go to consulting companies like BCG, Bain, everywhere. Probably because they have a very good scholastic achievement. Probably they have a very high CG, and they don't need PORs to be their peak. That's why they opt for foreign exchange in semester. Am I clear?
Mhm. Yeah, understood.
Okay, next. Uh, who's next?
Agnik.
Hello, sir.
Agnik.
Hello.
So I was asking, what do you actually consider a peak in such cases? Like, let's say, for example, in ECA, would inter-IT be considered a very good thing? What
Yeah,
is
inter-IT
peak
is
that you
considered
actually
peak.
consider?
See, if it's sports, inter-IT, GC, competitions like Udghosh, these are peak. If you have a school level, national level achievement, or state level achievement, this is the peak in sports. Similarly, in cultures as well, if you won at a international level or a national level, inter IIT level, intra college, intra IIT level as well, that is considered as peak. So basically, if you have one particular section very strong, it could be sports, it could be cult, it could be business case cop, then you are good with it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Ayush. I think Ayush doesn't has permission. Yeah, Ayush. Akshay, you can go on.
Uh, am I audible? Huh.
Yes.
Thank you for holding this session. I just want to ask that if most of my ECAs are of hostel and institute level only, then how much should I put for it to become a peak, for it to be a peak?
So depends on what kind of ECAs
Like
you have. It's hmm.
mostly culturals, mostly culturals.
If you have a cultural ECAs at hostel level and at institute level, I think it will not be considered as a very big peak, but it's again making your section above average. If you have
Okay.
8 ECAs, you can make a column you can to make 2 columns and put 4 ECAs on each side. So that will make your section as above average, if not peak.
Okay.
And you need to compensate with other sections.
And how many should be like national level ECAs for it to become a peak? Like ideal ballpark figure?
Ideally, two national level ECAs are very good. I think it depends on frequency. In debating kind of ECA, a lot of national level competitions are happening very frequently. So
Hmm.
maybe 2 or 4 national level ECAs are good enough. But if
Okay.
you have a particular sport which is played only very few played during a certain time, for example, aquatics. So there is a very limited scope for aquatics ECA. So maybe 2 national level is a peak.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we will just take these last three questions and then we'll wrap up.
Sure.
Hi. I wanted to ask that if I have a national level achievement and I'm not continued that thing in college, should I write it in my CV?
Hmm, if you do not have anything else to write, definitely you should write this, but do not expect much from this particular ECA. Like this will
Okay,
not be
thank
considered
you.
as a very big peak, but yeah, definitely you should write it.
Acha, okay, thank you.
Um, Hello, sir. Like in the ECA section, I mentioned about some of my sports ECAs where I've represented an institute. Uh, Also, I participated in clubs, right? So I was awarded some significant contribution of best reps as awards. Should I mention it in the PR section, or is it better to mention it in the ECA section so that it comes out more clearly?
it should definitely be mentioned under POR. If you got some best significant contribution for a particular PR, it should be mentioned in PR section only. But if you have been awarded as best sports person of the year, then you can definitely put it under sports ECS.
All right. I mean, it's related to clubs only as best journalism or
If it's
something.
related to club, then definitely under your POR,
All right. So, okay. Thank you, sir.
because that
Matlab
will
you
add
can
more value to your
just add
POR
in,
only. Yeah.
you can just write that in italic format under that particular POR. For example, in the one written in internship that co-authored a paper, so you can
Yeah.
just write best
You should
that
definitely
best
write.
representative.
So, like, what difference does it make when I write the same thing in italics or bold? Like, what exactly is the difference while reading a CV when the recruiters read it?
It comes out clearly. That's it. That's the simple reason. See, generally 200 CVs you need to write. Hardly they'll spend 10 seconds on your CV. So it should come out very clearly. And generally people who are shortlisting are acquainted to some kind of some basic format. They are accustomed to it. Like said, they'll directly look for italics lines for any impact that they extra impact that they've created. So it's best
Or
to follow that guideline.
okay, actually, in my CV, in the pure section, there are multiple things which I've bolded, like some numbers and all about events that
Hmm.
conducted. So that's why if I'm bolding my award, also that's getting mixed in that. I mean,
No, no, don't bold your award. Just make it italics.
all right, okay, sir,
Don't make it bold.
cool.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hi.
Sir, I have one or two college level, school level ECA, and we have page one and page two of CV, where page two is automated. So in
Hmm.
IIT, that I collected some ECA and PR, so that will be written by the IIT system.
Hmm.
So should I write that extra school level ECA on page one or not?
See, if you have, for example, if you have three college level ECS, maybe to complete the section, you can add one or three more school level ECS to make it look bigger and to show that you have pursued that sport since long and you are very passionate about it. So
Sir, if
definitely
I
you
don't
can
write
write that ECA and you have to attach the proof as well for it.
Sir, if I don't write EC on page one, then there is a uh, slightly blank page left for page one. So what should I
No,
do?
no, I am saying that you have to write your ECAs. You can, if your page is blank, you can write your school level ECAs as well. That will add lesser amount of value, but it will add something. Like something is better than nothing.
Sir, should I repeat IIT ECA on page one?
Definitely, that page two ECAs is just for your proof. You have to write all your ECAs in page one. Nobody will read the page two. They'll just look at the page two to see how many of them are from IIT. That's it. They won't look at page two generally. You have to write all your ECAs on page one, all your IIT ECAs, everything. Fair?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Daksh.
I wanted to ask about ki I was like I was a founding member for a society, but
Hmm.
the it doesn't come under POR because I've been given the ECA for that, and like it's been recognized by BRCA now, but it's not under POR. So how should I write it in the ECA part?
Hmm. So if it's not a POR, you want to write it as an ECA. Maybe if you are making a column of, maybe you can add it somewhere in your different ECA. You can be as creative as you can. Like maybe you can write it as a separate section that what all did you do in that founding member of that particular society, or maybe you can start adding it into your, for example, if it's a cultural club, so if you founded a new society, that classical dance society, if you are a dance rep, so you within the dance rep you can mention that you founded a new society. Maybe you can mention that in your dance ECAs you can mention that was a founding member of this particular society and gave this contribution. You can make it as a description of your culturals. Like for example, dance, you can start with colon and then write a line to it, and then you can mention the time period, and then start with a couple of two or four ECs, whatever you have in that particular cult.
Got it, got it.
You can be as creative as you can. Just make it look impactful. If it's not, it's fine. Make it look impactful. That's more important, honestly. And it should easily reflect that, yeah, it was a very big thing to establish a society which had this much impact.